Christmas is just around the corner. Just realized that I started my channel shortly before Christmas 2 years ago, and not once have I created a video or a project with Christmas theme. Well, there is a first time for everything. So the challenge today would be to turn this innocent looking Christmas tree clipart to the cool LED Christmas decoration that would brighten up my living room. Can't wait to start. Let's start by cropping our clipart in Paint and then open it in Inkscape. I'm using method to trace the image into a vector, which I used many times before. We changed the image into stack of 8 vectors, each representing a different shade of gray. Then we ungroup it and choose the vector that we like the best, and save it in SVG format. Then I also edited my clipart, providing black fill inside the tree outline, and repeated the whole procedure in Inkscape to get the second SVG file. Now that we have our vectors, we can open them in Tinkercad and create 3D model. First, we change the height of the vector with a solid fill to 0.5 millimeter. This will be the front of the Christmas tree and serve as a diffusion panel for the LEDs lit behind it. Then we make sure that both vectors are more or less the same size. Then we align both vectors, and when done, we are changing the height of the outline vector to 3 centimeters and group the both objects together. Then we add few shapes that would make the stand, that will stabilize the tree, but also provide the place for the Arduino casing. Again, I align and group the objects, and our 3D model is ready. Now it's time to send it to the 3D printer. It's ready. I also created the backside of the tree. This is where we would mount the LEDs and also have a case to hide Arduino. We have to print it as well. Done. Oops, I need to be careful not to break off the star. So here are both components, and you can see how they fit together. When the electronic part of the project is ready, I would use super glue and double-sided tape to join them together. So next task would be to arrange the LEDs. I would be using WS2811 LED strip with density of 30 LEDs per meter. The plan is to have 10 LEDs in total. The LEDs are in place. Each strip has a ground, 5-volt and signal connections. Please note that on one side of the strip you have data in connection, and on the other side you have data out connection. So you connect the strip in this way that the data out of one strip goes to data in of the strip that is next in sequence. I'm not going to torture you with the footage of me trying to solder all those LED strips together, so here is the end result. Cables are a bit all over the place, but you can see that the strips are connected properly in a sequence. The cables connected to the first strip go through the hole into the Arduino case. Solid green cable is 5 volt, striped green cable is ground, and solid brown cable is signal. I have Arduino Nano here, and to make connectivity easy, I would be using this dedicated screw terminal. I will power microcontroller through mini USB ports. So now let's connect the cables. Ground goes to Arduino ground, 5 volt goes to Arduino 5 volts, and signal goes to digital pin 5. Let's see the Arduino would fit into the case. It does. I will later print the lid to close the case shut. To control the LEDs from our code, we need FastLED library. You can Google it and you will find the GitHub link where you can download zip file. You then go to Arduino IDE and install it. With the new library come code examples, so we do not even have to write our own code to bring the LED Christmas tree to life. Let's open color palette example. The only thing we need to change is the number of LEDs in the strip. In our case it is 10. You also need to check if the signal pin is properly set in the code. As you can see, the code is fairly complex. Let's compile it and send it to our device. It works, but the big question is, how will it look when we put our diffusion panel in front? Looks great, right? The depth of 3 centimeters did the trick. The different colors blend together nicely, and you do not see actual LED light sources. I could end up this video here, but if you watched my videos before, you would know that I always need to create my own code. Plus, I'm not king of Christmas decorations that blink and change color all the time. After a while, this becomes annoying. As they say, less is sometimes more. So I need the code that would in certain intervals change the color of the tree and the star. The color of the star would be different in contrast to the rest of the tree. I'll also try to come up with the nice transitions of the color change and try to introduce a color fluctuation effect. So let's start. Let's talk about the concept before writing the code. We select the base color first. The number represents the color in the FastLED rainbow hue chart. Here it is. Our Christmas tree is built out of 10 LEDs. In code, they will be represented by this table. To send the base color to any of the LEDs, we would execute following command, where first parameter is a color number, and the other two are saturation and brightness. We want them in this project to be set to the max values. For every LED, we generate the color that is a sum of the base color plus random value from 0 to 50. Then we generate another set of colors the same way, and then we will have a loop in which we will be altering color values in the old set by 1 or -1 so they get closer to the new color values. As you can see, we work with just 9 LEDs. The 10th one would lit the star, and we need this LED to be in stark contrast to the other 9. We do it by adding 100 to a base color and use that number to lit the 10th LED. With 50 iterations, we should reach the new generated color number for every position. And when we do, newly generated colors become old colors, and we generate a new set of numbers, and the process starts anew. I added one more complication. Every 10 seconds, I adjust the base color so it moves through rainbow charts, and this way we observe the smooth color changes with glistening effects. So let's quickly go through the code. We start with the same LED strip parameters as we saw in the example code. Then we have 2 tables that store randomly generated color states, the old and the new one. Color variable stores our base color with initial value of 145. Color change is a variable which stores base color shift that will happen every 10 seconds. Each time we'll add 20 to it. Timer variable would help us identify 10 seconds interval with the use of millis function. In setup, we initiate LED strip and set its brightness, and generate the first set of random colors based on the current base value. At any stage, if the color number exceeds 255, we subtract 255 from it, so it stays within 0 to 255 range. In loop, we start with checking if we have not reached the end of the 10 seconds interval. If we did, we add 20 to the base color. Then we generate the new set of colors, and then we have the loop with 50 iterations, which alters the old sequence to bring it closer to the newly generated one. We reflect the changes of the old sequence in the LEDs table. After adjusting 9 LEDs, we redisplay them. When all 50 iterations are completed, the newly generated colors become old colors, and the loop function starts again. Before it does, we set the star LED to the color number, which is base color increased by 100. Before we load this code to the device, we need to connect the front and back of the tree. As mentioned, I would use double-sided tape and the super glue to do this. Then I also printed the lid to close the Arduino casing. I finish by gluing on the star at the top of the Christmas tree. Finished. Let's connect it and load the code. Looks great. The color changes are smooth, not annoying at all. The diffusion panel works like a dream. This project is to make Christmas tree, but you can create any other shape that you like. Let's split the screen so you can observe the changing colors while I'm wrapping up this video. So how did you like my Christmas tree? Are you gonna try to do a similar one, maybe of different shape? If you like this particular shape, you can find STL files below. I'm gonna post one more video this year. This is gonna be about using Arduino built-in EEPROM. I'm gonna be releasing it on a Christmas Eve. I have a nearly finished draft of that video that I'll be putting on my Patreon website tonight. So if you wanna watch it, you can become my patron for as little as €1 per month. It will help me a lot. Since this is the end of the video, I wish you health, happiness, and a lot of cool Arduino project ideas. And
may the Christmas be with you.